Hi, this is Linda with Watery Wishes, and today I have some Christmas cards made with Simon Says Stamps Festive trees. So I've basically picked 3 of the trees. I did the planky one, the circly one, and the triangle one. I didn't do the heart one. And I'm stamping these onto a quarter of a sheet of some Canson XL 9x12 watercolor paper. And then I'm stamping them with Simon Says Stamp embossing ink. And then I'm sprinkling them and heat setting them with Hero Art's sparkling silver embossing powder. Now I do 2 of each of these trees, except one didn't make it to the end, because I find when I'm doing a lot of different sort of style cards with the same sort of image, one always ends up in the discard pile. Simply because I fly by the seat of my pants and I'm testing stuff out as I go. So once I'd stamped out the trees, I also masked out just the bottom of the trees and put in the little trunks and heat embossed them with the same embossing powder. And now I'm using they're my favourite Pastel watercolour pencils. You could use any sort of watercolour medium, but I find the pencils are really easy to get into the really fine, tight areas. And you can't see it yet, but you will soon, I'm two-toning these trees. I'm using a darker blue and a lighter blue, a darker purple and a lighter purple, and the other one's sort of like a teal colour, but on camera it looks very close to the blue. So a couple of these I cut short, and I don't have the same card bases for all of them because I only have 3 of the fog grey cardstock that looks really good with them, so I vary a couple of them at the end with different techniques. So here I'm just penciling in and using a water brush to move that colour around. You could use a regular brush, you don't need to use a water brush. I just find that for images like this it's just easier and quicker. And this is the tealy one that looks a little bit bluish on camera. So I've been a bit of a busy little bee. Since my last video, I have completed assignments for a study period for university. I have built a website for my blog, and it has a little shop element to it, so I can sell or give away free digital designs at the moment. And up until just after Christmas, there will be 9 free digital stamps available on my site. I've called it the Christmas Celebration Collection. So if you want some digital stamps, go ahead and get those from my site. Now, I'm not being absolutely precise with this cutting down of these images. I'm just trying to sort of get the trees centered within the panels. And as I said earlier, there's a couple that I cut down a little bit different or too far. So most of them will be going on some, I think it's Simon Says Stamp Fog Grey card bases, so 3 of them. And then at the moment what I'm preparing to do is hit emboss this diagonal stripe background onto this slate grey cardstock and hit emboss some silver over it. Now, the technique you just saw me use with putting the stamp on my desk and then putting the paper over the top of it and rubbing it like that is something I picked up from Amy Rasavi from Prairie Paper and Ink. You should go check her out if you haven't. And while I did miss a little bit of the stamping on this piece, it does make stamping background stamps, especially big rubber background stamps, a lot easier. You get a better impression the first time. I find that when, just like Amy, when you put them in a stamp platform, you need to restamp them and restamp them and restamp them, whereas this you usually get a really good impression the first time. And I was being a little bit impatient with it. If I had actually put another piece of scrap paper over the top and pressed down, I would have got a perfect impression if I'd have run my hands over a piece of scrap paper over the top of the cardstock. So here I am. I'm now about to edge all the panels in that same embossing powder. And for this I'm going to use a Versamark embossing pen. And at first I use this bit of packaging for my eraser refills to get a straight line, and I sort of decide that I don't care if it's a bit rough, so I just start doing it freehand a little bit after this one, but I don't show you them all because that would just be monotonous and repetitive. So I lost a bit of footage at the end of recording this, and you've already seen how I intend to put that smaller one on that background panel and then on the white card base. I do another one on, I think it's slate, and I do the other 3 just simply on the Simon Says Stamp fog or smoke cardstock, whichever one it is. I can't remember because I didn't actively buy it. Those card bases came in a kit. But after this one, I actually use that silver embossing, like I use the embossing pen and do all 4 sides at once and just dunk each side in the embossing powder and heat set the card all at once. So it makes it very, very fast, though I don't show it to you. So my new website's up and you should all go and check it out. Visit the blog. It's the same as my old WordPress blog. Here is what I did with the card panels. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. If you did like it, I would love if you would subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. And don't forget, have fun crafting your imagination. Bye.